is FYI on your TV, brought to you by Hometown News. I'm Kathy Botham. I am so pleased to have Ted and Marion Outerbridge back with us in the FYI studio. Welcome back.
Yes,
Thank
great to be
you.
here.
And literally
Thank you.
2 blocks away from our keyhole house.
Yes,
Yes.
just down the street.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
neighbors, and
Yeah.
we're here to talk about more of the elements of this wonderful house. My goodness, there's so many connections, and
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And
We
they keep on coming.
Yes.
They
Discovering
keep on
things.
coming. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
it really is. I mean, you brought in a honey can today too.
Yeah, so I found this honey tin from Henderson Apiaries. It's from the 1940s. So Clem Henderson used to live at the Keyhole House with his wife, Beverly. And Clem Henderson's family, his father Ken and uncle Cecil, they operated Henderson Apiaries. It started up in the 1920s. And so this tin is from the 40s. So maybe Clem Henderson, held this tin when he was a kid.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
But they were famous. They were like Ottawa Valley rock stars of honey. So his family.
Okay, and the apiary, was that in Carlton Place?
So yeah, it was
Yes.
in Carlton Place.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So meanwhile, there's a gigantic snooker table in the basement of the Keyhole House, and the table, it's 12 feet long, 6 feet wide. It's massive. Marion and
Yes.
I are getting, pretty
Pretty
okay
good.
at playing snooker. Anyway, the snooker table belonged to Clem Henderson as well, and he got it from McCann's Pool Hall in Carlton Place. In Carlton Place. And this table was built in the 40s. In 1940 it was built, and I think in the 1980s, Clem and Beverly Henderson decided to put an addition on the back of the Keyhole House. And while they were doing that, they lowered in this 2,500-pound snooker table into the
And it's
basement.
not going anywhere, is it?
No,
No.
it's not
He was
going
a
anywhere.
serious player.
Apparently,
he was
yeah,
a,
he was very good,
was
yeah.
a very good
Yeah.
player.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That
I
we don't
guess
know.
Henderson seemed to be pretty good at
Yes.
getting balls to go into holes.
I guess so. I guess so. And that's where it started,
Yeah,
maybe. Yes,
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure, for
So-
sure.
So we keep running into Carlton Place connections, which is kind of interesting.
And your next show is coming up. Is going
Yeah.
to be in Carlton Place.
Exactly, Yes.
Yeah.
And I love the
last 2
connections. I
weekends.
love the connections because we've got the honey can, we've got the snooker
Yeah,
table.
the snooker table, and then
And-
the contractor who
Yes.
built our house, Matthew Ryan. He was a celebrity contractor here in Smiths Falls. Got his start in 1896 when the CP rail yards were put in. There was a big building boom, and so Matthew Ryan was a carpenter who became a contractor. And when he was in his 30s, he had 60 employees, so he was really happening. Not only did he build houses, he sold lumber, he sold shingles, he had a brick factory. He made bricks, so all the red bricks in Smiths Falls were made by Ryan and Allen Bricks. Herbert Allen was his partner in the brickyard. They made all the red bricks in Smiths Falls, and he built the fire station, the hose tower, the marketplace, a few churches. He was, as well as houses, and contractor, sold wood. He also sold ice. He had an ice business. He would actually harvest ice in the wintertime and then sell ice to people all summer. And he turned his farm into a park, a racetrack, Ryan's Park. Have you heard of Ryan's Park?
I've heard of Park, yes.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
anyway, he was an entrepreneur, one of 7 kids. His parents came over from Ireland. He was one of, I think, 2 or 3 kids who could actually read and write, and he was a very, shrewd businessman, I guess you could say. And he also built Carlton Place Town Hall in 1895, and in 1897 they finished it off and they put a theater up on the 2nd floor. Gorgeous theater.
Gorgeous.
Yes.
Gorgeous
So
place.
he built the town hall in Carlton Place with the theater in it, and he also built the Keyhole House where we live. So it's only natural that we go put
It
on a
seems
show in
to
Carlton
be.
Place.
It
Yeah.
seems to be,
Exactly.
yes.
And
It's a famous theater.
Yeah, and it's one of the last great stages, right? So
Raked.
Like
It's
it has
sloping.
It does
it's
have a slope to it.
sloping.
Yeah.
Yes,
So the audience
exactly.
can see
Oh,
better.
Yeah, because the
Yeah.
audience used to sit flat on the floor and the performers would go up.
right.
Yeah.
But now they changed it. So the audience goes up and the performers are on a flat stage so everybody can see.
Yeah.
So they changed that, which is a good factor for the performers because on a slope, it's really hard when you have props on wheels.
I was just going to
And-
say, I've
Yeah.
seen your show. How do you do it
Yeah.
with
So
wheels?
Barry goes into a
Exactly.
box. I wheel the box around,
Yes.
and then it wants to roll off stage into the audience. So
Exactly.
it's very exciting performing
Oh,
on a
wow.
rig stage.
Yeah. So you need to be very careful.
You need to be
And-
prepared for that.
But
Yeah.
I actually had studied in Moscow, right? At one point, my dance career. And all those studios, they were still rigged. Like they still had that slope. And so I learned how to dance on a stage like it. So that's why last year it wasn't an issue when we performed there.
Okay.
And the tourism department was so happy to see us, and we did really, really well in Carlton Place, that she actually, Rachel, she reached out to us last November if we wanted to come back. And that's how it all started, that we will be performing this summer in Carlton Place
Wow.
for 2 weeks, the last 2 weekends in July.
Absolutely. I think it's
Yeah.
meant to be that you have to be in Carlton Place.
Yes,
Right?
destiny.
Yes,
Yeah.
destiny.
Well, I'm glad you told
destiny.
me about the stage. I just thought
Yeah.
because over time it probably just got
No, so,
No,
yeah,
it,
they
but
did
it
that on
used
used
to
to
purpose.
be on purpose.
And so we would tape strips of wood down onto the stage so that our props wouldn't roll into the audience.
Oh,
Yes.
So we've worked it out. No one's been hurt. It's safe to come and see our show. Our props are all under control, and
Yes.
I haven't fallen over yet.
And
Yeah.
that's actually where the expression comes from, downstage and upstage. Because there
Yeah.
used to be an upstage in the back of the-
literally.
Yeah.
Yes, and you
Literally.
would walk
Yeah.
downstage because you're
Wow.
walking down the stage. That's where this expression comes from.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Mark Twain performed on that stage. Pretty
Wow.
exciting.
Yes.
I guess he was doing tours to promote his books, and so he spoke at the Carlton Place
That's
Auditorium.
exciting.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah. It's a
yeah.
beautiful building, beautiful old stone building, lots of history. It's haunted apparently, so we
haven't
have our
met the
ghost.
ghost.
Our ghost Agnes is quite happy with the Carlton
yes,
Place Town
yeah.
Hall ghost. So they,
You,
they
you've got some
get along.
guardian, I want to say guardian angels, but they're guardian ghosts, I guess. eh?
That's right. That's right. They're looking out
Yeah.
for things.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Now, your Mysteries of the Keyhole House, you've got 30 million, over 30 million views.
Yes.
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 Yes, it is very popular. People
Wow.
are very interested in the Keyhole House in
Absolutely.
Smiths Falls.
Yes.
And the show is based on the true story of Marion and I
Yeah.
moving into an old house, and we discovered that we're living in this house with a ghost. And so our ghost is having a few issues, and we help our ghost find peace, and we all live happily ever after. So
It is a family
based on
show.
a true story.
Yeah.
It's
is
a family-friendly
show.
ghost,
Yes.
so she's not too scary.
No.
Oh, there you
no.
go. Yeah, yeah,
For all
absolutely.
ages show. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So your dates again for Carlton Place, July 19th to the 28th.
Yes.
Okay. And how to get tickets?
Outerbridge.eventbrite.com.
Okay.
That's the best way to go.
Okay.
Outerbridge.eventbrite.com. Or you can also call this number here, 613-430-4626. And you can buy your tickets on the phone as well.
All right. Now that's only 2 weeks of the summer. You're busy otherwise too. You're doing
yeah.
some traveling.
Yeah, we're in Meaford for a week at the beginning of July. And then we're taking this show that was born here in Smiths Falls. We're taking the show all over Ontario.
Yes.
So St. Catharines, Oakville, Markham,
Guelph.
Guelph,
The river.
Milton, all over the place.
Yeah.
So taking it on the road, and everyone is loving the story about this, amazing
and
house in
Ottawa
this beautiful
as well.
small town.
We're going
Ottawa.
back to Ottawa
Yeah.
in January.
Mhm.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now I saw you a couple of months ago too. We had Natalie McMaster and Donnelly,
Yeah.
Donnell Leahy, and then I read that you opened for them 26 years
Yes,
ago.
26 years ago, just before I met Marion.
Yes.
I was the opening act for Natalie McMaster at the Aiken Center in Fredericton. So that's an arena,
Yeah.
thousands and thousands of people. Very exciting.
Another connection.
And I was
another-
the opening
yeah.
act for Natalie McMaster, and I've been a huge fan ever since.
Wow.
So she's amazing. It was a
Yeah.
great
It was
Wasn't
an
a wonderful night?
incredible performance.
wonderful.
Yes.
Yes,
Wonderful.
yeah. Now you spoke at the Ladies' Night for the Rotaries
Yes,
Club
I
in
did. It
what was that,
was actu-
February?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was in February. It was totally sold out.
It was. It was an
and,
amazing night.
Everybody listened to me talking about my life story as a professional dancer,
Yeah.
and performer and ballet master, and it was a delight. So I love it. So
It
who
was a
knows?
wonderful night. It was a wonderful
Yeah,
night
thank
too.
you for
It was a
saying so.
wonderful.
I had
Yeah.
a great time.
And I,
putting it
And
all
you were there.
together.
You were
I was
there
a waiter.
helping.
I
Yes,
was a
you were a
waiter.
waiter.
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't spill any food.
No,
Yeah.
no, it was very kind to be asked.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a really I enjoyed it very much putting it all together in my life. It was fun.
It was a great
Yeah.
learning curve. I was doing the math and it was like, oh my goodness, she was moved out at this age and she was across country.
16
and
is very young.
Yes.
16
Yeah.
is very young.
For
Now
sure.
afterwards, I'm happy my parents allowed allowed it. I guess I was very determined. But yeah, no, I definitely did a lot, and I would do it again.
Absolutely.
In a
Absolutely.
heartbeat. And
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yep.
and who knows, maybe one day I have a little youth ensemble. That's really what I would love to have.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
a youth dance ensemble, that's my goal.
That'd be amazing. That'd
You
be
know,
amazing.
besides performing, of course, still doing magic, because I love choreographing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you started in Montreal. Is that
Yes,
right?
I did. I was in Montreal. I was eating spaghetti. I was about 7 years old. I was in a restaurant, and this man walked up to me, and he pulled an egg out of my ear and blew my mind. So, Magic Tom, he was the local Montreal magician. So that launched my career. At the age of 7, I wanted to be a magician.
You knew what you wanted to do.
And he
Or a
originated
goaltender.
from this
Goalie.
A
neighborhood.
goaltender.
Either goalie or magician. And when I was, I guess, 19, junior hockey, the pucks were moving really fast. I was the goalie. And so I decided magic might be a better career choice for me.
Well, I'm glad that you decided on Smith
Yeah.
Falls as well, too.
Yeah.
So, you know.
So, and then here we are.
Yeah.
Here we
Yeah.
are.
And
Yeah.
I always ask you to tell the story about going to Tim Hortons that
That's
day.
right.
Yep. We Googled, we found a house in Smiths Falls that looked very interesting. We pulled up into Smiths Falls and we needed to use the facilities. So we went straight to Tim Hortons, and a teenage boy held the door open for us at Tim Hortons. And that just blew our minds. Wow, what
Wow.
nice people.
Wow.
So we were attracted by the history and the architecture, but the people.
Yep.
Love the people here in
Yeah,
Smiths Falls.
absolutely we do.
We have so
But-
many friends, so many
but-
awesome people. Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
just had headlined at the Magic Castle in Hollywood, right? So we just came from Vegas, and it's a long drive because we have illusions. And so I was Googling, what is it that we really want? Because all our friends are in Vegas. But like, it's nice to be with your friends, but we're all going for the same jobs. So we were like in Ontario, or actually in all of Canada, we are more of a celebrity, right? Like, and more work comes our way, and we're not going for the same jobs. And so we started Googling, and Smiths Falls kept popping up.
Wow.
And the architecture is so beautiful. There's so many beautiful homes and the brick buildings. And I said, where is Smiths Falls? Because we were looking
Yeah.
between Toronto and Montreal. Because Ted's parents still live in Montreal, right?
Right, right.
And mine are in Europe, so I don't really care where, I live. And that's what happened. So
Las Vegas or Smiths Falls?
that's right.
We chose Smiths
We
Falls,
chose
and we
we're
made the right
happy
choice.
that we
It's a
have
great place.
chosen Smiths
Yeah.
Falls.
Oh, I don't know if that young man knows what he did when he held the
Yeah.
door open
Well,
for you that
he's
day.
now
so-
like,
Where
I
is
guess,
he?
in his
Yeah.
20s, he must be.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah,
he was
amazing.
a teenager then, 5 years ago, right?
So I grew up in Montreal. I moved here when I was 55, and this little town is full of world-class stores that are like tourist attractions, like Smith's Shoes.
Yes.
It's not just a
Yes.
shoe store. People come in from out of town to go there.
Yeah.
And McMullen Appliances, I don't know if I'm allowed to mention all these names, but anyway,
Yeah.
there are so many tourist attractions, stores that are tourist attractions. It's
Right.
Yeah.
amazing to have that in a small town.
Yeah.
But also the history is
I-
so beautiful. Like, I
reputation.
just think,
They've got
like,
good reputations, yeah.
like one of the first parachute companies, was in Smiths Falls. So it's unbelievable. Like, they build parachutes for D-Day and
Wow.
Pioneer Parachute
Pioneer's
Company.
Parachute. Yeah.
Operated in Smiths Falls for 10 years, and they made half the parachutes for D-Day. So
Yeah. So
Pretty
who
amazing.
knew, right?
I
knew
didn't.
that? Yeah.
I learn every time I meet you
Really?
about
No, no
something.
one knew that.
I
I
didn't know
went
that.
So-
researching, and
Yeah.
the Robertson Wholesale Grocery Store. It's near the Station Theater. It's now
Yes.
the food bank.
Right?
So
Yeah.
that used to be
Yeah.
Pioneer Parachutes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
For 10 years. So people were making parachutes, and you couldn't mess up. When you're sewing
No.
a parachute, you
No.
cannot mess up.
No,
So-
no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
amazing.
amazing. That's
Yes.
amazing. Always
Yeah.
learning when I meet you. Your dates again. July?
Yeah, 19th
July
to
19th.
28th. We're doing Friday night, Saturday matinee, Saturday night, Sunday matinee. A lot of people like matinees. It's a beautiful theater, 200 seats. It's gorgeous. Tin ceiling. There's an elevator, so if you're in a walker or whatever,
Yeah.
there's no problems. Everyone has a good seat. And it was built by Matthew Ryan, who built the Keyhole House, so it has lots of
The connection.
charm and
History
connection and
again.
history.
Wow.
And
Wow.
we, people are loving the show. There's grand illusion in the show. There's a lot of interaction with the audience. The audience basically helps us unravel this mystery.
Yeah.
So it's a almost like an escape room that's really happening on stage.
Right there in front of you.
Magic.
Right
mystery.
there in front
Yeah,
of you.
yeah, with an
Friendly
audience.
ghost.
Yeah, exactly.
With an audience as well.
People are disappearing and reappearing
Yeah.
and floating and very visual. Yeah,
Wow.
lots of fun
And how
for
do
the
you
whole
do
family.
that? Wow. Yeah. The whole time you're thinking, how
I
do you
don't
do
know.
that? Yeah.
Right,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just happens.
And we have a wonderful team that travels with us.
Yeah.
for it.
That's wonderful
So,
too. Yeah.
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 For sure, for sure. Well,
Yeah.
I thank you very much for taking the time today. You're very busy. I just even think when you do a matinee and then you go do an evening one too, that doesn't give you guys much of a break
No,
No,
to get back
just
out there
time to
again.
preset.
Adrenaline.
Yeah.
because you're very
Audience.
physical out there too.
Yes.
the audience is the fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But we
they
also
feed
would
us.
like to say a big, huge thank you to you, what you do to the town over the past few years. We
Yeah.
have noticed
Well,
so
thank you.
much and beautiful things. And I love checking out all your photos. I'm always scrolling.
Yeah.
I might not like every single one of them, but I'm always scrolling. It's
Well,
beautiful.
thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Thank you
very
so
much. I
much for
appreciate
all
that.
you do. Yeah.
Thank you as well.
Yeah.
You're
Thank you.
always
Yeah.
there.
Thank you.